Hi, this is Matt with LSAT Cracked. In this lesson, I'm going to share with you a very flexible, very subject matter agnostic approach that you can apply to a wide variety of conclusions on the LSAT to make sure that you're analyzing them and thinking about them in an analytically precise manner. Some of my tutoring students have told me that this technique was worth more than everything they learned in their entire LSAT prep course combined. I think the reason why is it gets you thinking about conclusions in the right manner. Let's take a very simple example. They say, premise, all crows are evil. Obviously. Conclusion, therefore some birds are evil. We're just going to start with a really simple example. What you should be doing with every single conclusion you come across after you find it is thinking along the following two dimensions. Number one, what object class is being discussed? Number two, what precise claim is being made about that object class? Here in the conclusion, we're talking about birds, or rather some birds, okay? So we'll come back to that in a second. And then the claim being made about some birds is that they are evil. Well, when we look at those two things, we quickly see that evil was also mentioned in our premise. So that lines up. It's not a new term they're trying to sneak in. However, we might take a little bit of issue with the fact that the premise was talking about crows, and now the conclusion is talking about birds. So if it's true, notice how now that our attention is focused on the right part of the conclusion, if it's true that all crows are evil, does it follow that that same claim is true about some birds? Well, on the assumption that crows are a type of bird, which they are, then yes, if every single crow is evil, it follows that there is at least one bird out there, some birds, that are evil. So it's a good argument. And notice how that framework pointed us towards the right area of the argument to focus on. Let's do another example. Suppose we are told that some dogs are friendly. Actually, come on, let's be realistic. Most dogs are friendly. Dogs are pretty awesome. So we know as a premise that most dogs are friendly. Now, the question is, does the following conclusion hold? The conclusion of the argument is, therefore, at least some chihuahuas are friendly. Now, let's think about what happened. The object class changed from most dogs to some chihuahuas. We'll come back to that in a second. But the claim being made was the same, friendly and friendly. So mentally we can kind of factor that out and now focus on the main thing that's changing. If it's the case that more than 51%, more than 50% of dogs are friendly, does it necessarily follow that there's at least one chihuahua that's also friendly? The answer is no. It's entirely possible that every single chihuahua is in the slice, that 49% or less slice of dogs that might not be friendly. We only know about 51% of the dogs. We don't know about the other 49%. They're in the mystery of I don't know land. And it's entirely possible that every single chihuahua, which is just a subset of all dogs, belongs in that group. It's possible. Therefore, it's a bad argument. Last claim. Let's say we say that John has a nice car, a big house, no debt, and drinks excellent coffee 3 times per day. Suppose we also say as a premise that anyone who has all 3 of those things going in their life is happy. Conclusion, therefore John has a good life. Now, notice that we've been talking about John the entire time. So the object class that we're attempting to draw our conclusion about hasn't shifted on us. However, notice the subtle claim difference being made. You could use the if-then statement we were told earlier. Okay, if John has these 3 things, then he's happy. That would have been a reasonable inference. However, the conclusion snuck in a different type of claim. They said that John has a good life. That's a different claim. It's a new term being introduced in the conclusion. So notice that our attention is not focused on the object class because John and John match up, but the exact claim being drawn is slightly different than what the premises allow you to logically infer. You're going to see that this two-part framework is going to help us evaluate a wide range of problems with analytical precision prior to ever even getting to the question stem. Once we're there, we'll be in a strong position to do anything they want us to on the rest of these LSAT question stems.